They say language is the soul of a people, and when a language dies, an entire way of seeing the world vanishes with it. Imagine standing in the ruins of a city swallowed by sand and silence, where words once echoed through markets, temples, and courts, words now unknown, their meanings locked inside stone. This is the story of lost languages, the ghost voices of vanished civilizations. Thousands of tongues have fallen silent since the dawn of human speech, leaving behind only fragments, symbols carved on clay, ink brushed out of papyrus, whispers etched into rock. Yet each was once alive, shaping dreams, laws, and love stories. Each was a vessel of memory and power. In the deserts of Mesopotamia, scribes pressed wedges into wet clay, cuneiform, the world's first written script. For 3,000 years, it spoke for Sumerians, Akkadians, and Babylonians. Then, time buried their tablets, and the meaning of those marks was lost when scholars first rediscovered them. They stared at the strange signs like the fingerprints of an alien mind. It took centuries and a broken multilingual monument called the Behistun inscription to finally unlock the code, a triumph that allowed the dead voices of kings and merchants to speak again after me. Millennia of silence. Across the sands of Egypt, another resurrection unfolded, the hieroglyphs. Those sacred pictures that line tombs and temples were long thought to be mystical symbols, not words. When the last Egyptian priests closed their temples, the knowledge of how to read them vanished. For nearly 2,000 years, the language of the pharaohs slept beneath the stone. Then came the Rosetta Stone, a single slab bearing the same decree in Greek, the Matic. And hieroglyphs. With that key, Jean-Francois Champollion unlocked the civilization's soul, deciphering the thoughts of people who believed their words could bridge the worlds of the living and the dead. But not every language has been so lucky in the dense jungles of Central America. The script of the ancient Maya lay mute for centuries, its intricate glyphs defying every attempt at reading. Conquistadors burned their codices, believing them the work of the devil, and with that fire, centuries of history turned to ash, only fragments survived. Carved into stone stelae standing defiant amid vines and roots, it wasn't until the late 20th century that scholars, artists, and indigenous communities pieced together the code, revealing a civilization that recorded everything from royal lineages to poetry and astronomy. To read the words of a people who had been silenced for so long was to resurrect a heartbeat. Thought lost forever, but countless others have faded completely into oblivion. The Etruscan language of Italy, mother to none and daughter to no known tongue, whispers only through funerary inscriptions, short, tantalizing hints of a people whose voices the Romans silenced. The Indus script, inscribed on seals and pottery in a civilization older than Babylon, remains unbroken, a riddle of symbols that might hold the story of a people who built cities with perfect grids, vanished without a trace. Scholars debate whether it is even a language or a system of signs, and so the Indus people remain ghosts, their words never heard. In the mountains of Anatolia, Hittite once flourished, the world's first recorded Indo-European tongue. Its rediscovery in the early 20th century rewrote the map of linguistic history, proving that Europe's linguistic ancestors once ruled empires in Asia Minor. And yet, for every language revived, hundreds more disappear in silence each generation, the modern echo of an ancient tragedy. Today, more than half of the world's remaining languages are endangered, somewhere in the Arctic tundra, in the Pacific Islands, in the Amazon rainforest. The last speakers of their tongues sit quietly, carrying the final syllables of their people's memory. When they are gone, no script, no stone. No scholar will ever bring them back. Language is not just communication. It is a map of thought, a mirror of identity. In one language, there are 20 words for snow, in another, not at all. Each word shaping how its people saw their world when those words vanish. So too does a unique way of being human. Imagine if English were to vanish tomorrow, if every poem, every law, every whispered confession became meaningless marks to future archaeologists. That is what happened to Sumerian, to Etruscan, to the countless forgotten tongues of our ancestors. Yet within this darkness, there is light. With every deciphered tablet, every rediscovered script, we reclaim fragments of who we are. We learn that humanity's story is not written in a single language, but in the symphony of all our voices, some alive, some sleeping, some lost to time. To study the words of the dead is to listen to the echo of civilization itself, each rediscovered. Phrase is a bridge across centuries, each translation a resurrection. The silence of lost languages reminds us of our fragility, but also of our brilliance, our hunger to remember. As long as we seek to understand the words of those who came before, their voices will never be truly gone. They are still here, in the wind that moves through ruins, in the symbols carved into forgotten stone, in the pulse of every living language that carries their echo. For even in silence, humanity speaks. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into our shared past fascinating, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more stories from the echoes of history.